Hey guys, this is Miss Ingram here from the Unique Learning Committee for Mobile County Public Schools, and I am going to do a quick how-to video on a few things that we're needing right now to set up our plans for our distance learning. What you will see right now, this is my home screen when I log in. I am using the intermediate band. I have already created my April plan, but I'm going to show you how to recreate your plan if you need to change something. So you'll notice here in the top right corner there's a little blue calendar button. If you click that, it's going to take you over here to where you can see your day, week, or monthly view. And if you come over here to these three little buttons, you can click them and you can go to create my plan, or recreate my plan in this case. So I don't want to mess up all the work I've done for April, so I'm going to go back and show y'all my what I did in April with my March plan. So just follow the prompts to create the plan. And you'll notice right now they have extended the dates for the March and the April plans because of all the changes going on right now with the schools across the U.S. So the March plan was actually available from February 5th to April 14th, which is why if you have never created a March plan, you must go back and create a March plan before you will be able to create an April plan that will start today. So my dates are good. My April plan or my March plan is going to end April 8th, which is before my April plan starts. So the quick way to create a plan, which is what I normally do when I'm teaching full-time in the classroom, is I create a plan based on the suggested monthly plan. And that's where they will take my dates and their 30 lessons and they will plug them in for me automatically to cover everything I need to teach in a month. So if you haven't created a March plan, I would do that, and with a quick click, I've created a March plan, and this would allow you to then go back in and create that April plan if you need. Again, I'm going to show you what I did in April by using March. Due to the fact that we are focusing on those critical standards and we're not teaching the entire set of standards in fourth quarter, I found that it was actually easier to create an empty my plan and add content manually. There's 30 lessons that Unique offers of us every month. And when you create the suggested monthly plan, they plug all 30 lessons in there. But because we're only focusing on those critical standards, we only need a few of those lessons to actually show up in our lesson plans. So I decided to create an empty my plan and add content manually. So what this looks like, I'm going to have to go back to March. Okay, this is where it started. So for March, I have my reading in my math block, but there's nothing there. So what you're going to do, you have to be in the daily view to do this, is I'm going to add this, click the plus sign, and for reading, I know that I want the phonics activity, and I'm going to add a lesson activity. And I'm going to scroll down to lesson 10, which is our letters and sounds. And so I'm going to select for the first couple of days just to introduce the letter sounds, and I'm going to save, and there the phonics activity is. And I'm going to add my high frequency words. You can title it anything you want. I just use those titles so I keep up with it. Lesson 7 is our word wall. Then I want story vocabulary, which is lesson 11. So I'm adding the vocabulary, and I'm going to add story 1, which is going to be lesson 1. And I'm going to go ahead and click the activity 3, which is a read aloud, but it's in the 3 levels, so that way I make sure it differentiates the different levels that my students need when they're doing this independently at home. So now I have just what I want for reading. And with us having an extended amount of time to teach fewer standards, my personal choice has been to repeat my daily lessons for 3 days at a time because, number one, I know my students need repetition. Number two, I know that in several of my families, there's multiple students sharing just maybe 1 or 2 devices, and every student may not be able to get online every single day, or I know my children in my classroom, sometimes they have bad days when they have a seizure or different behaviors, and so maybe Monday's not a good day, and I don't want my kids to miss what they needed, so I'm giving them 3 days to have an opportunity to log in and get that instruction. So right here, I can click the copy button. Everything's already checked for me, and I just choose a day that I want to copy it to, and I want to copy that to Thursday. And I want to copy it to Friday. And I'm going to go ahead and copy it to Monday because yes, I'm going to change a few things or maybe add something on Monday, but several of the things are going to stay the same. So now I'm going to fast forward over to Monday. And still want my phonics, still want my sight words, still want the vocabulary and the story, but now I want to add the word study activity. So I'm going to go to lesson 8 under list 1 spelling, and I'm going to add the word study activity. So now that's showing up. And I'm also going to add the journal. So I'm going to go down here to lesson 30, and I'm going to add the journal. So they're all pretty much the same. So right now, just choose one. So now they still have the phonics, the high frequency words, vocabulary, the story, but I've added word study and journal. And now I can just very simply, I want to keep all that for the next few days, so I'm going to copy it to Tuesday. I'm going to click copy. I'm going to copy it to Wednesday. And I keep going like that. For math, let me go back to Thursday where this started. And I'm going to come down to my math block and I'm going to add an activity. And I'm starting out my group with just counting, which is 16A. And activity 1 is the math stories, the counting and comparing numbers. And that's all I want for week 1. So I'm going to copy it, that one activity, I'm going to copy it to Friday. But note down here, it's automatically defaulting to my first block of the day. So make sure you select that math block so that way it copies to math. So now when I look at tomorrow, I have my reading and I have my math there. So this, I spent about 3 hours trying to delete everything I didn't want out of the suggested monthly plan, and then was trying to figure out how to put everything back in, and it just looked really messy and was very time consuming. So when I found this yesterday, I was able to go through and fill in my lessons and activities all the way through May 19th in about an hour. Now, obviously, going into that, I had already looked at the standards and I knew what lessons I wanted my students to do. I had looked at what lessons I was going to need to grade. Hopefully, some information will be coming out. I've worked on a document that I have suggested grades based on the lesson plan, the My Plan that I'm using, and I want to share that with you guys if you need it. You'll also notice my schedule right now, I only have 2 blocks, reading and math. I went in and I edited my schedule. I'm going to go back to the home screen. My schedule. I removed everything but what we needed right now. So I have my reading and my math block, and I took everything else out because I just didn't need anything cluttering or confusing my parents right now. The times do not matter when you're in the My Plan. When these lessons are assigned, the schedule and the time, it's just to help keep the teacher on track, but those lessons are available to you and your students the entire day that they are in your plan. So why do we do that? Because we want our students to be able to access this. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to go to My Students for just a minute. And I'm going to click on one of my kids here, and I'm going to scroll down. And notice right here, it says Configure Student View. You have to configure your student view before they will be able to do anything online. Right here, I've got this green message that says Student View is accessible for this student. I got that message once I had configured her view. I did not choose to change anything here, but you do need to go right here to set reading level priority. And whatever reading level you want automatically pulled up for your student, just move that story to the top. So for this student, I chose level C for her, and so I moved level C to the top. I came down to the bottom and I hit save, and that configured her view, and now she is ready to be able to log in and do the activities. So make sure you have done that. And all right, let me go back home for just a minute. And I'm going to show y'all daily scores and observations. So once our students start going in and doing the activities, you can go in and you can see. So in March, this student, she has records for lesson 1. She has records for lesson 3 and lesson 12. So I can click on this and I can scroll down through all the activities until it shows me this is what she did. So she did activity 5 in lesson 1. She's had 1 attempt on March 25th at 11:33 online. She did not complete the activity. So she does not have an accuracy score or responsiveness score because this was me playing around the other day. The accuracy score, what that will show you is, say the story, there's 14 pages, so it might show you 5 out of 14. That means that student viewed 5 out of 14 pages. Or if it's the comprehension questions, it may say they got 3 out of 5 of them correct. So you have to know the activity to know what that accuracy score is applying to. The responsiveness is showing you how much they interacted with it. So even for a story, they may have 30 or 40 responses because that's how many times They clicked on the page, they clicked on the words to have it read to them. Maybe they just kept clicking in it read over and over and over again. So they give us the responsiveness tally, and that's really good information because we all know that for some of our kids, especially our level ones, the responsiveness and how much they actually interacted with the lesson in the curriculum may be more important than what that score is, especially if we know that that score is them getting hand over hand or a lot of prompting, and especially with parents helping at home, you don't always know how much of that was the student's cognition and how much of it was the parent's cognition. But just being able to see how much they've actually interacted and participated with the curriculum is really great information. So that's where you see that. I'm going to go back to my students. For those of you who still need to set up your student accounts, there's one other thing I forgot to show you. So as well as setting up, doing that configured student view, you also need to do the login settings. So for my students, I chose for all of them a simplified password. You can do a username and text password, you can do a QR badge, but I did the simplified password, and what that looks like, it's just an avatar image with their name, and they click on their name and I set their password. And for my students, you can use their first name, you can use, it has to be at least 5 letters. So I did their names. That was just easy for me. And once you have created some sort of password for them logging in, then you get this right here, classroom login links. And when you click on that, you have a link. And all I have to do is open that link in a browser. And I need to save. I'm going to click my 3 dots up here, and I'm going to go to Tools, and I'm going to create a shortcut. This is for my classroom login, and this code is unique to my class this year. And I'm going to create that. And I'm going to sign out. It's very important that you sign out of yourself. And hang on, I'm recording with dual screens, so it may be hiding on this other screen. Okay, it is. Okay, so when I click on my classroom login link that's on my other screen, this is what my students will see when they have that link. So here's all my students that are available, and they simply click on their picture and they type in their password. Due to the free accounts we were given, I've seated all of my students in Unique, Positivity, and Life 3 skills. So they're going to go to the snowflake to go into Unique, and here are the specific lessons that I have assigned. So they're not seeing all 30 lessons, they're seeing phonics, high frequency words, vocabulary, the story, and the counting activities for today. Now, I don't know if you can see it down here, but there's a ghost button, and you see the difference when you hover over it, you get the hand. You have to log out of that student. You have to log out. If you do not log out, it will not let you log it back in as yourself. So make sure you log out of that student. It's thinking about it. And I'm logged out. So now I can go back in as myself. But I want to show y'all Google Classroom. So I am signed into my Mobile County email address right now in Google. So I have my Google Classroom. And over to Miss Ingram's class. And here under announcements, you can share something with your students. So you will see right here, I posted the link for my classroom. And so all my students have to do is they click that link from my Google Classroom and it takes them straight to my classroom login page. So from Google Classroom, my students can go straight to their unique learning accounts and enter into their lessons for the day. And all I've done as far as their assignments go is I just very simply put for the week instructions. This week we're focusing on counting. Each day students can practice by doing the counting activity pages in Unique, and you can also count things around your yard. So that's their math assignment for the week of April 13th through 17th. Just a little added instructions for what they need to do while they're in there. And I also just added a welcome message for my students and some links to some fun websites and stuff that I thought would help them. And you simply do this by when you're writing a message, you can hit the add button, link, and I've got my classroom login pulled up, and I'm going to click and copy that web address, and I'm going to paste it in here. And you know it's added correctly if it looks like this. So that's how I added my unique learning to my Google Classroom for my students to have easy access. I know I did this really fast. I hope this answered a lot of the questions. If there are other questions, feel free to email me at kingram@mcpss.com. Let me know if you have any other questions. If I get a lot of the same questions on how to do something, I will try to make another video to share with you guys. So I hope this helped, and good luck and happy Friday, y'all. Bye.